Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we will do our video presentation for practical 7 based on case study video in program monitoring and evaluation for subject DCE 3115. So my group members are Nur Suhaila binti Wahab 201769, Nurhana binti Muhammad Nur 201772, Aisyah Radia binti Roslan 202668, Siti Nur Akila binti Muhammad Roslan 202898, Nurdiana binti Wan Asri 203803, and me myself Nurul Akila binti Waning 204579. Next slide. Okay, so the first question is about what did the first speaker has shared about monitoring and evaluation. First of all, she mentioned about the definition about monitoring and evaluation. She said that monitoring is a continuous function that is a systematic of collection data and specified indicators that is to provide the management and the main stakeholders of an ongoing development intervention with indicators of the progress and achievements of objectives and progress. She also added that monitoring is descriptive. It gives information about the policy, program, or project that is given in a time that is relative to respective target and outcome to happen established by the people implementing the program. While evaluation, she addressed that evaluation is to address issues about causality. It's systematic and objective assessment of an ongoing completed project, program, or policy, including a design, implementation, and result. Evaluation aims is to determine the relevance and fulfillment of objectives, the development efficiency, effectiveness, impact, and sustainability. Evaluation gives evidence of why targets and outcomes are not being achieved. It's also addressing why things not happening through the program. Next is about monitoring and evaluation program. So I will pass to the next presenter.
So for the monitoring and evaluation framework, the speaker highlight 5 basic evaluation framework, which is the input, which is the financial and human material resources that you can put in the project. The second one is output, which is what you produce from the project. And the third one is outcome, to define the goals. And the fourth one is activities, the tasks that personnel undertake to transform input of your program to the outfit. And the last one is impact. Next, the speaker also highlight a few good key indicator for the monitoring and evaluation. The first one is clear, precise, and unambiguous. The second one is hand economic, which is available at reasonable cost. The third one is provide sufficient basis to assess performance. The third one's contain collected baseline data that guide which to monitor your future performance and to know you successful or not. The next one is set specific target and ideally dates that you want to reach. And the last one is having opportunity to give feedback. Next, I will pass to the next presenter.
Okay, thank you. Basically, the second speaker convey a lot of important message according to her knowledge and also her experience. So here I want to highlight about the participatory of monitoring and evaluation (MNE). Before that, the second speaker told us that MNE program or projects really tedious, which are endless and fatigue if some individuals not apply it in the correct way or on the right track, and also expensive. So it's essentially when we are on the real field of MNE, of course the situations are different from the academic perspective. However, the knowledge from the preliminary academic work is so helpful to all of us and help them to curb the obstacles. What caught my attention here that the speaker like convey the message which is wherever we go, if we have the knowledge, we can implement it to solve the problem. So I start the first point of participatory of MNE, which is work hand in hand, work as a team. So work as a team is really important in order to achieve the targeted goals. In the situations of MNE, the participating together as a team will make the task become more easier. For instance, the cases like diseases, poverty, abandonment needed to be tackled with the teamwork effort in order to lift the communication between the community and also the foundation as an example. So so once the second speaker mentioned that she, even though she worked at the office to create the model and related work, she personally think that she also need to join to do the eye contact, not just with the stakeholder, but also for the team. Just imagine if all people think like her, every job will be done easier. So the next is process of individual collective learning in capacity development, which people can be aware of the strength and also the weakness. Uh, Capacity development is the process by which individuals and also the organization obtain, improve, and also retain the skill, knowledge, tools, uh, resources, and extra needed to do their job competently, which means active participation is needed, while collective learning is cumulative process that resulted in the production of knowledge, which is employer empower individuals. They share the information together so they can work together. So through capacity development and also the collective learning that had been applied in MNE, individuals can spot their strength and weakness. So this is a good opportunity because they put them in the wide social reality and perspective that will benefit them in the terms of individual part. So number 3 is prepare individual to the right track and with the right vision. So I will give an example, but based on the what second speaker had mentioned. So how does the participatory in MNE can provide the individuals to the right track? For instance, the non-profit organization that would like to funding for the vulnerable children in Africa. By the participating in the right track and adequate resources, which is money, the funding will be managed effectively as the funders will accommodated by the related organization and their views are also will be integrated. Lastly is community and communication is the key for the success for any project. This sentence show the importance of community and also the communication. So community act as the stakeholder in MNE project or program. In MNE program, by the good relationship with the community, the communication will be worked. For instance, the outreach foundation, as he mentioned by the second speaker, can find a workable way to do the MNE for the program in African by communication. Throughout the communication with the community, they find out the real needs and also the factors of the problem. This will help them to solve the problem. Okay, next presenter.
Okay, now I will move on to the serious issue that she mentioned in monitoring and evaluation from her experience, which is a lack of agreements between the stakeholder leads to a failed collaborative approach. This happens more when we go internationally, usually because of different opinions and views. Next is children. She mentioned that children are very vulnerable. They are victim of diseases, insecurities, and poverty. African child grew in extreme poverty. She also mentioned that Zambia is the country that she really loved, and she can see that the health of the children there has been in danger. Thus, there are three crisis nursery, which focus range is infant from 0 age to 4 and 5 years old. Next. Next is why children in Africa is abandoned with a focus in Zambia. So this is where monitoring and evaluation is important. We have to know the underlying factors that cause it to happen. So there are three factors. The first one is poverty, the second one is desperation, and the third one is the death of the parents. So to respond at the above need, the American Medicine Program is established in 2003. The participants of the program is mainly those with low income. And the result of the program is the children in the program gain weight and become more healthy. For the success of this program, it is measured by the number of children positively impact uh, in health and grow report. Next. Other than that, she also mentioned that it is very important for every model to be tested. It must be convenient and meet the requirement of the committee that we are working with. Lastly, she said that it is not matter of the expensive cost of monitoring and evaluation, but it depends on the way we shovel around our resources, work, and the organization background. So I think that's all for me. I will pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
Okay, so for the conclusion about what is NNE based on what we have learned, next. Monitoring and evaluation are processes that help improve project and organizational performance so that you can achieve the result you want. The monitoring phase of monitoring and evaluation provides detailed information on access activities and where improvement can be made. The evaluation side refers to the examination of a program to understand what has been achieved. Integrating M&A into a project design and implementation is the optimal approach. Said experts, information we derive is critical to understanding whether or not our program are achieving the objective. Next.
Thank you, for Gila. So I will proceed to the last slide. So I will explain the about case study that I have shared in the video. So based on the case study, I can conclude that monitoring is a term that was really important for to evaluating and monitoring and program. So monitoring is a continuous function but used as a systematic collection of data and specified indicator to provide management and maintain the stakeholder of and development intervention with indicator of the extent of progress and achievement of objectives and progress and the use of allocated funds. So that is a definition from a OECD 2002. So based on the case study, I can conclude that it identified the readiness assessment before conducting the program. So
before we conduct any program, we need to identify what are our readiness assessment that we want to do in developing the program. So readiness assessment is we need to know what going on in the community that you will be working with. So next is generate the program using all of the required processes of conducting a program. So we need to use all of the requirement or of all of the framework that include input, output, activities, outcome, goals, and also our target. So we need to generalize and analyze the situation of the community first before we conduct any of the program. So next is also she mentioned that we need to know the target and involve both parties in conducting a successful M&E program by involving local communities and empower the community to work on the program. We need to get a collaboration between organization that will provide the program and also the community that will be involved in the program. So we need to have a participation from both parties so that the organization can understand what are the needs or what are the target that they need to develop on, and they need to analyze before they going to proceed to the next level of conducting the program. Next is also she also mentioned that we need to establish requisites on what needs to respond based on the needs of the community, and we need to know the target and measure the outcome and impact of the program to the children. We need to know who are our target before we conducting the program, because if you not know the target, you will lose or you will fail the program, because the target is our main priority that we need to know before we conducting the program. So for the last one is maintain a low cost program using proper way method, which is we can develop a program that was a low cost program. Instead, we know that monitoring and evaluation cost a lot of money, cost a lot of time that needs to conduct the program. So I can say that she mentioned that maintain a low cost is depend on the way on how you approach that thing, which is depend on the way you shovel around your resources and the way you do your work or based on your organization background. So I think that I can relate that community and communication is the key for success for any project. So I think that's all from our group. Thank you so much for listening our